Party is back in town after the longest pay-per-view in months.
Let me tell you, if there's one thing I do appreciate about WWE over AEW, and I can't believe I'm saying this, is that WWE actually has a hold over their pay-per-view lengths over the past year or so, and it's been nice. It's been so nice.
It's been so easy to sit through. I respect AEW for trying to give us their money's worth, but oh man, that was a long one. Kris,
Elimination Chamber was 2 hours and like 25 minutes, and then I feel like this pay-per-view was like double the length.
I'm pretty sure through my like several years of watching pay-per-views, this is the first time a pay-per-view has gone past the 8 o'clock mark Pacific Standard Time for those of you on the East Coast.
I believe so. Ever since the WWE Network came into play, before there were like
I've never seen a pay-per-view go over 8. This is the first time it went over 8 o'clock.
Unless it's WrestleMania, but that's like a special, like I don't know if that like.
Well, that's like 6 hours.
Yeah, and even now it's going to be 2 nights this year again. Like it's not going to be that long per night.
I'm so happy they
hallelujah. Yeah, I think that's a topic for another time. We're going to be talking about WrestleMania next month, and we're all here talking about wrestling stuff every single month on this special little game that we play. If you guys are new here, or if you haven't already, please definitely consider hitting that big red subscribe button down below as hard as you possibly can. We are all on the road to 600 subs and counting. I am still floored by that. Thank you all so much for your support over this past, I don't know how long I've been doing this now, almost a year, I think, because I started this little game back in May. But thank you all so much again for your support. Hit that thumbs up button if you're new. Also, if you enjoy this discussion that we're about to have, like I said, we're continuing to discuss all of the wrestling industry every single month. But tonight, obviously, we got Revolution, yo. That's what I put at the top of my notes. AEW Revolution 2021, March 7th, of course. And we started off with a buy-in tag team match special, the Teddy Long special, as I call it. Thunder Rosa and Riho going up against Dr. Britt Baker, and it was supposed to be Rebel, but she was not medically cleared because of a doctor's note that Britt Baker put out because she's a dentist and she could do that. Even though her injury had nothing to do with her teeth.
Yeah. It would then be revealed that Maki Itoh, who was in the Eliminator tournament for the #1 contendership for the Women's Championship, will be replacing her in this match. I was very happy to see this because I have seen a lot of Maki Itoh's social media posts, and I just thought this girl has a lot of personality. I'm glad AEW was able to sign some of these women to some sort of a deal, because if there's one thing we know, AEW's women division is pretty dry, to put it one way. So it's good to see some new faces, especially, with the return of Riho, and we're going to see some new faces like Maki Itoh on the show now. And it's nice.
I was not overly familiar with who Maki Itoh was, and she comes out with this karaoke gimmick, and I saw her as one of the most over baby faces on the card, and she's teaming up with Britt Baker, who is full on heel. That was my first issue with this match. I'm like, I don't know if they clicked as a tag team.
I agree. I saw that too when she came out and started doing her whole singing and dancing bit. I was like, this is a face gimmick. What is this like pop idol doing? But there were a few spots in the match where she did use heel tactics, and I was like, all right, okay, I see. She is a versatile kind of wrestler, and I can appreciate that. But like at first, when she came out and she was doing her whole singing with the entrance song, I was very, very confused. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
I'm not too familiar with her in-ring work per se. So when she came out with the karaoke, it definitely took me off. I've just seen like pictures of her, and she has a very, very, very large potty mouth on social media. So seeing her as a heel didn't really take me by surprise, but the karaoke did. And I was like, hey, I don't know what they do in Japan. I know the gimmicks are batshit off the wall over there. So I'm sure it's part of her shtick.
Totally. I thought the work in this match was fairly good throughout. I mean, it felt like a typical like tag team match with big high spots thrown in there. I will say Maki Itoh's offense at some points scare me because she does a move called the Kokeshi, which is basically a side. She falls onto her side and she does a diving headbutt, which is a move that I hate.
I will say though, it was fucking hilarious how she executes it. So I was able to forgive it a little just because the execution was so goddamn funny. And I could see like if it wasn't a headbutt, that's definitely a move that got her over.
I will say,
you can tell.
I will say also, I was laughing my ass off at her selling. That was awesome.
Oh yeah. I feel like she kind of was the star of this match.
And she did not even get the pinfall.
Yeah, and if I'm already saying right now, to kind of jump a little forward, if we get a Maki Itoh, Hikaru Shida feud, I would not be opposed to that, like whatsoever. I think that would be entertaining as hell.
Yeah, for sure. So I think the ending of the match came down to Rosa and Britt Baker in the ring, and they're having a really nice exchange. But Rebel, who's on the outside, starts a very annoying trend that we'll talk about through the rest of this pod that occurred quite frequently on this pay-per-view. Rebel has one crutch on her side, and she ends up hitting Thunder Rosa as she's rebounding off the ropes, and Britt Baker gets the 3 count off of a damn run-in. I mean, match was good. I thought it went kind of long, though.
It did. It was almost 15 minutes.
Sheesh.
A bit long for a pre-show match, if I will say myself. I understand AEW is kind of like the cool parent when it comes to being like, hey, yeah, everyone's gonna get their stuff in. You all get what you want because we love you. And I understand they wanted all 4 of these women to have screen time, but that match did drag at times for a pre-show match that didn't really have anything on the line.
Not really, except they claim that the wins in AEW definitely matter, which, I mean, I'll give them that. But, I mean, if this does lead to a title shot for Britt Baker down the line, I will not be opposed to it. But
yeah, I feel like Shida needs some more opponents before she drops the title to somebody who I don't want to start my debate on that just yet here, but I want Shida to mow through a few more people before she drops the title to someone who's not even in that pool of names that we're talking about right now.
Yeah, as long as they don't bury Abaddon again, I'm good with it. But I can't go higher than a 3 for this gentleman. I like the wrestling.
2.25. It was a pre-show match.
Wow.
And when there's nothing on the line in a pre-show match, it was fun, but I have no reason to rate it any higher than that.
Kris, what do you think? Am I being too generous?
I mean, I'm gonna split the difference and say 2.5.
Okay.
I agree. It did go a little longer than it should. There were some longer moments than there should have been. I'm very surprised that the heels went over. I'm not gonna lie, Britt Baker does have momentum behind her, but you got to remember the team of faces are 2 former women's champions, and they lost it against one person kind of making her pay-per-view debut, and Britt Baker, who only has decent momentum. I'm very shocked that the heels went over.
And I'm glad you bring up that point, because there's one thing me and Zack talk about a lot off screen is that AEW is not good at giving wrestlers momentum. You will see someone win a couple of matches and then they won't be on TV for 8 weeks. And then they'll come back on and AEW will be like, oh, you weren't watching Dark for the past few months? This person's on a winning streak. It's like, no, AEW, if you want someone to pick up momentum, you need to keep them on Dynamite consistently, not tell me to go watch your 3 a.m. YouTube show that comes on once every 2 weeks and be like, oh, you should know the story by now. Like, I don't think that's fair to the casual viewer. So if you do want someone to pick a momentum, they got to be on Dynamite every single week, picking up wins and being consistently booked. Consistently booked. That's a term you're going to hear me say a lot during this podcast.
And again,
I agree.
Yeah, me too. And to those of you who might be going off in the comments right now, being like, "Oh, you're just WWE marks and you're bashing AEW." Listen, we love AEW as well. We would not have, if we didn't like AEW, we would not have spent $50 on this pay-per-view. So
no, and I'm going to say
that.
a lot of good things about this pay-per-view.
Me too.
Lot.
Me too.
A lot.
Including in our opener. Do you want to take it, Tomas? I know.
Sure, if you
I know
don't mind.
You've got things to say.
AEW World Tag Team titles are on the line. Chris Jericho and MJF are challenging the Young Bucks, Matt and Nick Jackson. And I have a lot to say about the Young Bucks. They're fantastic. They're great. I love them. I love how they suckle up to Dave Meltzer every night before they go to bed, and he caresses them. And you're good little Bucks. Here's another reward. Here's another 5-star. My opinion is above everybody else's. And they're great. I'm glad that they can still slap their thighs whenever they do super kicks. I know Adam Cole is very upset about that right now, but they can still slap the thighs, and then they have some some cool moves. I'm being sarcastic. First of all, I really do like the Young Bucks, and I really do like that they're the tag team champions. I like how they change between babyface and heel every other week. Like they're doing good for themselves. So going into this feud, I was kind of thinking, this is a fucking mess. This is just here to get the inner circle even more over. I was going into this match kind of expecting Jericho and MJF to win the titles just so they can continue, having their pretty boy party on AEW every week. But I was very shocked at this match. This was a very, very, very good match.
And
I would even go as far as saying this is my favorite Bucks defense since they've won the titles.
This was, in my opinion, the best match on the entire show.
This was your match of the night?
Yep. It was. I had the most fun watching this match. The wrestling was good. I mean, all 4 guys got their spots in. Chris Jericho was, of course, stoked to have his chorus again, which I mean never fails to make me smile when everybody sings this song. But
there was a lot of people in attendance tonight, and that was cool to see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Early on, all hell broke loose. There were stereo topes and stereo sharpshooters, and eventually it calmed down. And now there's tagging. It's not tornado rules after all. The Bucks were killing Chris Jericho early. Might I say they were wrestling inner circles around him.
Oh, God, that was terrible.
It's terrible.
There was some very, very good near falls in this match. There was definitely a good handful of times where I kind of was like, that should have been at the end right there. That should have been, and I mean that in a good way. Kind of like, oh, man, really? The match is going to end now? They're really starting to pick up. My favorite spot being when Jericho was tossed Floyd the baseball bat, and he hits one of the Young Bucks with it, and MJF does a clean transition into the Heat Seeker, and I thought right there that's when the match was going to be over. And of course, the Bucks kicked out at 2.9999999 to keep the match going. There was a lot of those kind of moments in this match, and the crowd was hot for this match too, which helps any opener when the crowd is hot.
Mm-hmm.
I will agree. This was probably one of the better matches of the night. I'm not gonna lie. The Bucks have had better matches.
Yeah. I agree with that too.
It was a good match. I liked. Okay. Yes.
It was
yes.
a match.
So okay, I don't want to be mean, but like the Bucks have had better matches without the titles. This was an okay match for me. It just kind of felt like they were going through the motions, honestly. Like
notice how I said this was my favorite Bucks defense. I still think like their match with Santana and Ortiz at Full Gear last year was better than this.
Yeah.
Those were 2 teams that got it.
I think their match with Private Party on Dynamite was better than this.
There you go.
I thought
that's why I said it was my favorite Bucks defense.
I thought their match against FTR was better than this. I thought their match against Omega and Page was for sure better than this. But I mean, I say this is the match of the night. I don't say this is my favorite Bucks match ever because I love the Bucks. But also, one other thing I got to point out is it's been a full year after Chris Jericho lost the AEW World Heavyweight title, and he's still calling himself Le Champion.
That was a crazy statistic, and Jericho has still managed to keep himself relatively relevant. Not to be repetitive there, but he's managed to keep himself relevant.
Okay, we're talking about a dude that can keep himself relevant with a list.
You are right there. You can hand Jericho any prop, and he will get it over.
He don't need a belt. Give him one single topic. He'll figure it out.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
It's funny that you mentioned that because back in the day, Jericho said you could hand The Rock a phone book and he could find a Chinese takeout menu and he could get that over. I think Jericho could do the same thing. Gave Jericho a phone book, he would get that shit over.
Easy.
Oh, yeah.
Easy, for sure. It's So there was a lot of flipping the bird in this match. One of my favorite spots was the heels do a double team vertical suplex on Matt as they flip the bird at the crowd.
I kind of hate that. Not gonna lie, it kind of screams, "Ooh, I'm edgy." I fucking hated when the Inner Circle did it, like all of them together just doing it to someone. I'm just like, "Ooh, okay, watch out, we got a few badasses over here. They're putting up a finger."
Total badasses, yeah. And honestly, I know he's a piece of shit, but give the man credit where it's due. MJF was freaking awesome in this match. He sold.
This was probably some of the best wrestling I've seen from MJF. My favorite spot in the match, other than the near fall, was when they turned MJF's head into a human ping pong ball.
Yes.
And they super kicked him over and over and over and over. That was a super kick party right there.
The freaking drool. Okay, so the drool that led into the freaking comment of the slobber knocker. Oh my god.
Oh man.
God.
Oh, okay, we just got to get this out of the way right now. Poor JR. I hope he's okay. Go drink some warm ginger tea with lemon.
Literally.
And don't talk for an entire day. This is 3 actors telling JR right now to go on vocal rest, drink nothing but tea, and do not speak for the next 24 hours, JR.
Yes.
Please, for the sake of yourself.
Take a rest.
Take care of yourself, damn it. I'm going to tweet JR.
There was a rebound code breaker by Jericho as Nick was jumping for a Meltzer driver, and then there was a beautiful sequence where MJF does a roll-up. And there's that Heat Seeker little sequence you were talking about. Jericho accidentally hits Wardlow, who's been at ringside the whole time, accidentally hits him with the Judas effect. There was, Jericho goes for a lion salt, and the Bucks super kick him right in the gut in midair, and I'm sure that must have made Adam Cole very happy indeed, seeing that.
Ricochet probably smiled at that too.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. But BTE trigger and the super kick party don't put him away, but the Meltzer driver does. One of my favorite finishers in all of wrestling. I was so happy to see it. Meltzer driver to Jericho gets the 3 count. 4.25 stars for me.
Real quick before we get to that, there was a weird spot before when the Bucks were going to go for the Meltzer driver, but whoever was going to deliver the pile driver got taken out of the equation. And then the other Buck, I'm sorry, they're twin brothers. I cannot tell them apart. I'm going to apologize right then and there.
Matt still goes for his. Jackson is the blonde.
Matt,
great. Yeah.
Matt's got the facial hair.
Yeah, Matt has the sideburns.
I think it was Matt. Mm-hmm. No, Nick. Nick's the one that does the front flip. The front flip that does absolutely nothing. He still goes for that front flip, even though his brother's not there to connect with the pile driver. And it totally felt like a video game moment, kind of like you glitch the game, so you're still doing the finisher, even though part of the finisher is not there. It was very weird.
Felt like old school WrestleMania 19 on the GameCube, where you just kick your opponent as they're doing the finisher, and the game will just like glitch down, and they'll just fall to the mat. Like
that's how it felt.
Oh man, that game was fun. That game's fun.
Meltzer driver, Bucks win. Yeah, I'm gonna give it 4.5 stars. I really enjoyed this match.
You know what?
This was very, very fun. This again, this was a great. This is an opener. This is what you call a good opener. And I think, even though AEW fucked up, here's the thing: throughout the entire buy-in, they were saying, the ladder match is going to open the show. The ladder match is going to open the show. The ladder match is going to open up the show. And then the show started, and then Jericho's music hit, and I was like, wait a minute, I thought the ladder match was going to open the show.
No, excuse you, Jericho and MJF's hybrid theme hit. It was pretty sweet, though.
I fucking hate their hybrid theme. It's kind of like you hear Jericho's music, and then you hear MJF's dumbass, and it's just like, get that shit out of here.
It's like you hear Rated RKO's theme.
And I'm going to rant about Cody Rhodes' theme when we get to the ladder match. I'm not going to get into that now.
All right, Kris. Thoughts on this tag match?
I'll give it a 3.5 if I'm being generous. It was... I'm okay. Like, I don't know.
You're good. I love this. I love the dynamic that you bring to the conversation. I really do.
To, like, bash on the guys involved. Like...
No. Like, we're here to be honest on this podcast. So if you think a match sucks, then please say it sucks.
It's the Young Bucks, it's Jericho, it's MJF, but like the Young Bucks have had better matches. Jericho and MJF have only been teaming together for like barely a month. Honestly, they've had like how many matches together? The Rumble match to figure out who's challenging the Bucks. Like, they haven't had like real good tandem matches.
No, they beat the Acclaimed even when they shouldn't have.
Okay. Yeah. Well, let's take a head count here. The Acclaimed, who have been probably on the indies. I don't know them that well. I've only seen them on AEW. And then you have Jericho. Do I need to say his resume? And MJF, who even in his short term at AEW has accomplished a lot.
Mm-hmm.
With his feud with Cody, with the Ring, with Inner Circle. He's got some momentum behind him. I'm not gonna lie. The world that knows AEW hates MJF with all of the passion because he knows
obligation to hate MJF, I think.
Oh yeah, I'm convinced that if I ever met MJF in person, I would probably turn the other way because he would probably make me cry. Like I've never seen someone who's been so viciously ruthless to fans before.
I'm pretty sure even if MJF somehow ever turns face, he's still going to be an asshole.
Oh, yeah.
But still.
I envy MJF because he can go around in life being a total prick. And if anyone gets mad at him, he'll just go like, well, I'm just doing my job. Have you not seen me on TV? He can get away with it.
So MJF and Jericho's only experience with the Acclaimed, as still that scale is like tipped. So their experience compared to the Bucks, I don't know. I was expecting this match to be a little more in favor of the Bucks, and the Bucks kind of, in my opinion, were just going through the motions. They were doing a spot fest. They were hitting all their stuff.
I can get that, and that's how I felt about the FTR match. Like that match just dragged, and there was just that match dragged to put it in simpler terms. But I was expecting this match to just be like, again, MJF and Jericho they're a thrown together team. They really are. But I feel like just the chemistry really clicked in this match, and they did a lot more than I ever could have asked.
Yeah. They're also a thrown together team, which, spoiler alert, will be broken up on Dynamite with this War Council when MJF usurps Jericho as the leader of the Inner Circle. Calling it right now.
Oh yeah, after, in the great words of Deadpool, MJF served us a big steaming heap of foreshadowing.
Yep. Yep. And we'll I think we'll briefly touch on that interview when we get to it. But it is Casino Tag Team Battle Royale time. Speaking of tag teams, 15 again, AEW has the legit tag division in all of wrestling right now. 15 teams. I don't think WWE can even count 15 teams on their roster.
No,
but
no. They don't even have five. They don't even have 5 teams between Raw and SmackDown,
which is sad. It's very sad.
We're not going to get into that debate right now, but
as a fan of
when it comes to
wrestling,
tag teams,
dropping my phone on the ground.
No, it's all good.
AEW rules the world when it comes to tag teams.
Yeah,
I was able to give Zack my top 3 favorite tag teams, and I could probably give you a top 10. But with WWE, I'm just like,
New Day, Street Profits.
There's the Hurt Business.
The Hurt Business, yeah, but
and that's it.
So the match starts off with Dark Order 5 and 10 against Dustin Rhodes and Tomas's favorite wrestler, QT Marshall. We're not
Before I get into that, do you guys think it was fair? Because I didn't think it was. Do you think it was fair that the Dark Order was allowed to be in this match 3 times?
No.
Yes.
I don't think it was fair. No. I feel like they were allowed. They should have been allowed to pick 2 guys to represent them. That's it.
Okay. Yes, I understand where you are coming from, but you got to remember, these are 3 very individual teams the Dark Order has. Like Silver and Reynolds. Thank you.
I
feel so bad I can never remember that other guy.
It's fine. There's a lot of Dark Order members.
I'm the opposite. I can only remember Reynolds and Silver. I'm looking at the list right now. I didn't know 10's name was Preston Vance. I just know them as 5 and 10.
I know Evil Uno.
No. And then there's Evil Uno and Stu Grayson.
Yeah.
I think each Dark Order team is so different that honestly it's fine. And they split them up pretty damn well. Like, not saying that it's all pre-storied or anything, but how often did you see the Dark Order teams together? It was pretty much 10, and then it was Evil Uno and Stu Grayson for a little bit. 5 was already out.
Mm-hmm.
So it was only those 3. Stu Grayson got eliminated pretty dang quick after, and then it was these 2. Evil Uno got eliminated. 10 got eliminated before John and Reynolds even entered.
Yeah.
Good
booking.
You make a good point, because if you look at it like a single like an actual the men's or the women's Royal Rumble match, that's like saying, you know what? I'm actually going to contradict myself here. That's like saying only one member of the New Day can be in the Royal Rumble match, and then you got all 3 of them. That's actually a very good point. See, this is why I like having discussions like this. It really opens my eyes.
There was one Royal Rumble match I watched growing up that had like 5 Nation of Domination members in there. And like,
do you remember when CM Punk's Nexus held the ring?
Yep.
There were like 4 of them in the ring, and they eliminated like 5 guys in a row.
I feel like that's the only reason why they made that Rumble 40 men, was just so they could have all those factions.
Because they had so many factions.
Because of the new Nexus and the damn core, which we won't get into right now. That's another topic for another day.
Anywho, but just the Natural Nightmares. I fucking hate QT Marshall. And let me tell you why I hate QT Marshall. He's the most, and I'm sorry, people are going to call me and like, how dare you talk shit about this man? He's more you know what? Yes, QT Marshall, you're more successful than I will ever be in my life, but you are so just goddamn random, and you are just so goddamn boring, and I don't know why you just hung off of Cody Rhodes' coattails, and now you're just successful like this, and I just don't see I don't see anything in QT Marshall. I don't understand the purpose of him.
May I spoiler?
Yes.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm happy there is a potential heel turn.
Yeah.
Good. Now I have an actual reason to hate him.
During the match, I forgot what exactly happened, but QT Marshall and Dustin Rhodes got into it. QT Marshall eliminated himself by hopping over the top of rope and going down to the floor, and then he proceeded to spit in Dustin Rhodes' vicinity.
Yeah.
I have a feeling this is leading to a heel turn.
Yeah, and it's because Marshall eliminated the Gunn brothers.
Yep.
And Dustin got mad at him because, hey, those are supposed to be our boys. You know what? I'm actually going to, and as all the shit I just talked about Marshall right now, I'm actually going to take a side in that because it's every fucking team for themselves. What, you just expect him to protect the Gunn brothers, which that's another team I do not like.
Son of a gun.
Yeah.
Literally said that on his tights. The clue is in the name. Speaking of families, if I could just sidetrack for a second, where the heck did Matt Seidel's brother come from?
That's what I was thinking when they debuted.
I had no clue that Matt Seidel had a
meditation temple.
Yeah.
With a third eye. Yeah.
You know, that's just like, it took me 3 weeks in to realize that Dolph Ziggler's brother was signed to AEW.
Dude, I kind of feel bad for Matt, though, because, like...
Yeah, they do him dirty. They do him dirty.
He has his own gimmick. He has his own momentum. People know him from WWE as Evan Bourne.
Yep.
Like, he has his own career, and now he's kind of stuck in this, like, meditation guru gimmick tag
and that's
team with
a gimmick.
His brother.
Yeah, and the guru gimmick was born in Impact, again, which he made himself. And now, yeah, he is. He's kind of just stuck with his brother now because creative has nothing for him.
Yeah, it's
sorry, your name's not Cody Rhodes. We got nothing for you.
Basically,
it sucks to be a cruiserweight, ladies and gentlemen. It sucks to be a cruiserweight.
Matt Seidel is to AEW what John Morrison is to WWE, basically. But okay, so
hey, at least Morrison gets more TV time than Seidel.
Yeah, so more teams basically come in. It comes down to a final four of Pac, Ray Fenix, John Silver, and Jungle Boy.
So before we get into that, this is a quick little debate me and Zack got into during this match. Okay, so I understand Pac and Fenix are part of Death Triangle, so I'm okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
But the Lucha Bros are one of my favorite tag teams of all time. AEW, why didn't you put Pac in the ladder match and have the Lucha Bros in this match? Huh? You see where I'm coming from, AEW?
I don't know.
I don't know. The crew's actually sticking together. I know it's a fucking crazy idea, but it's that inconsistency that bugs me about AEW. I'm sorry, I don't want to see Pac and Fenix team up. I want to see the Lucha Brothers team up, and I want to see Pac do his own thing.
I would like to see Pac versus John Silver for 30 minutes. Their exchange was really, really awesome, as was the exchange between Ray Fenix and freaking Jungle Boy. That was
now you want to talk about someone who's grown on me this past year? Jungle Boy. Yep. I did not care for him in the beginning, but I don't know what this kid did, but he got himself over.
Chris,
big time.
Hold on.
Giddy with.
Hold on. Time out. Before we go any further, shout out to Jungle Jack fucking Perry because he went to the same wrestling school that I went to.
Nice.
Heck yeah. There it is.
Shout out to Pro Wrestling Revolution in San Jose. We train fucking legends, y'all.
Hell yeah.
There you go.
Come train.
Watch. When this guy gets signed, he better remember us.
There you go. But man, Jungle Boy hit a freaking awesome super kick. That guy, like, I agree with Tomas. Like, his matches over this past year have been awesome. He had a great match with MJF at Double or Nothing, one of my favorite matches on that show. Great match with the Young Bucks as well as Luchasaurus, who looked like a freaking beast. There was part of me that wanted him to win this.
Jungle Boy has gotten himself so over that the fans started singing his theme song, and AEW went, okay, we can't ignore this. This is not Jungle Boy's theme song anymore. This is Jurassic Express's theme song.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the first time I saw Jungle Boy, and this was before I knew he went to Pro Wrestling Revolution. The first time I saw him was at a Halloween show for a local Bay Area company. I forgot what it was.
Might have been Hood Slam.
I don't know. It was.
I don't know.
Oh, dear God. I sure
Foot slam.
He had a 45-minute freaking classic with Jake Atlas, who's now in WWE
nice.
NXT.
Yes.
He had a 45-minute classic with him for like a junior heavyweight championship.
Wow.
Those two tore the house down. Since that day, I've been a Jungle Boy fan. I'm not gonna lie, I've been a little disappointed because they stuck him with Jungle Express. I like the work he's doing, but he is a phenomenal singles competitor, y'all.
He's getting himself over.
The work.
He's definitely
getting himself over. And I also appreciate how he has gone out of his way to say, hey, don't hire me because of my name. Like, hire me because of my ethic. And that's why he refuses to go by his name. And when JR ever calls him by his real name, he does go out of his way to say, hey, I talked to Jungle Boy and he gave me permission to use his real name on TV. And he has gone on accord to say, like, hey, I don't care, may his dad rest in peace. But he said, I don't go off my dad's name. Don't say, oh, we hired you because your dad's Luke Perry. Like, no, he wants to go on his own accord. And honestly, I respect the hell out of him for that. And he's gotten himself over for sure.
He really has. He really has. But this was a extremely fun battle royal. I would give it probably 3.25, 3.5, maybe. Seeds were planted for future feuds, like QT Marshall versus Dustin Rhodes, which you can find exclusively on Dark. There's
Elevation.
Yeah, there is going to be an awesome tag team title match with Pac and Fenix against the Bucks. I'm really looking forward to that.
Oh, yeah. And AEW is already starting to build. I think they announced Nick versus Fenix on Dynamite.
Must have been
coming Wednesday.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was one of the many things announced for Dynamite on Wednesday. But
that'll be fine. The fan in me really wishes it was the Bucks versus the Lucha Bros, but what can you do? Maybe
we've gotten that match a fair amount.
So,
yeah, for sure. Just I would never not want to see it again.
I think the reason why it's Pac and Phoenix is because, one, if the Lucha Bros were in that battle royal, I think they'd win it in a heartbeat. Phoenix and Pac, okay, there's not that kind of like brotherly chemistry that the Lucha Bros have, so they gotta work for it. There's that possibility they might not get it. They weren't entered into the Rumble for like a while. I don't remember them being like they're in the match until a few days ago, maybe.
Right.
So I don't know. I think they did that on a momentum kind of point. Also, like they said it in their commentary. Penta, thank you. Penta, he is a good singles competitor. He needs some singles titles. So does Ray. These guys are singles guys.
Oh yeah.
Joined together because it's like the Brothers of Destruction.
Yeah.
They are strong apart, but they are unstoppable together.
That's also a very good point, because correct me if I'm wrong, Penta was Impact World Champion at one point, wasn't he?
He was.
Yeah, that's right. When he was Pentagon Dark.
Yeah.
So whatever. I'm all for these single runs, honestly.
Whatever name he's going by right now. But yeah, I mean, fun battle royal. We cut backstage, and the Big Show is back there because it is still very weird to call him by his real name. So I'm just gonna probably call him by the Big Show still till the end of time. Paul White.
From now on, if you don't want to call him Paul White, you don't want to call him Big Show, fine. He's going by a brand new exclusive name to AEW.
No,
he will now be known as the Large Performance.
Damn it! No. He God damn it.
The Large Performance is talking about the signee that's coming to AEW first of all, spoiler alert, he didn't even announce it.
No.
He swore like he was going to come out on stage and announce the person, but he didn't do that. And we will get into who it was a little later. Mm-hmm. But it was basically
so mad.
Me too.
So mad.
Me too. We'll get to that. Me too. But we do get
so props to the Large Performance.
The Large Performance. Somebody put that on a t-shirt right now.
Well, it's the large performance.
Get out of here. AEW Women's World Title is up next. Hikaru Shida versus Riho Mizunami.
Was my match of the night. Holy
really?
Shit. This was fucking great. This was fucking fantastic. And Kris is already I already know what he's gonna say.
Go ahead, Kris. I'll let you take this.
Let's let Kris start off with it.
I feel like I need to explain myself because, like,
no, you're good. You're good.
There's been so many times where I'm just like, women match, meh. Women match, meh.
It's okay, man. This is coming from the guy who says Mustafa Ali doesn't like old people.
I'm not a terrible person, but like this one specifically just felt extraordinarily slow to me, especially near the end. Like they had, like I'm all for breathing. Like there in a match, there are moments where you're supposed to sell, and when you sell is when you catch your breath. There was a lot of catching of breath near the end of the match, and I'm like, okay, this is the end of the match. This is when you're supposed to, like, okay, we caught our breath, move, make the fans crazy, finish. But no, it was like, move.
If there's one other criticism I will give AEW is that they don't know how to do finishes. No. They're kind of just like, wrestle.
And then out of nowhere, it was just like...
Just finish the match. And I will say that was a weak point of this match was, again, the finish. But then again, if I was saying that about every AEW match, then it would be literally every AEW match that had a weak ass finish.
I agree. And this is the reason why I'm kind of on the fence with New Japan Wrestling as well. Because their finishes are out of nowhere. You can't tell when it's going to end and who's going to go out on top because it just happens. It might not even be with a finisher. It could just be with a random clothesline, and then all of a sudden there's a pin. I'm like, okay, but like, why?
That is a very good point. At least in WWE, when you saw John Cena hit the attitude adjustment, you knew the match was going to end because that was his finishing move.
To an extent, though, that kind of adds to the unpredictability, and it kind of makes it feel like a legitimate sport, whereas like any move can end it. And I definitely respect that like mindset. But in this case,
I definitely agree with you, Zach. But at the same time, if it's going to be another move that keeps it unpredictable, at least make that move like a boom, you're finished, not like a 1, 2, 3. Oh, Shida, that was the end of the match?
Shida pinned her with a corkscrew knee. It wasn't even the Tamashi, her finisher. I think she hit her finisher twice.
So if you're going to finish a match that isn't with a finisher or a special move, I feel like there's a category of moves that qualify as match finishing moves.
Mm-hmm.
A punch, a kick, a clothesline, sure. If it's like you're going off the ropes and you got serious running momentum behind you and then you clothesline them, then we'll talk about it. But like, unless it's a super powerful, like, they're not getting up kind of move, it should not end the match.
Imagine if you were watching an episode of SmackDown and Big E was wrestling Apollo Crews and Apollo Crews hit Big E with a body slam and then the match was over. I feel like that's a good
then Apollo becomes
talking about
the Intercontinental Champion with a body slam.
That hurts.
Yeah, like I think that's a good explanation to try to explain what Kris is talking about when it's like, and I definitely do agree with that. It's like all of a sudden you're wrestling, you get an elbow, just a random elbow, and that just seems to end the match.
And that's it.
Like, I understand. This is sports entertainment. So the entertainment part is telling a story. If you want to go more into the sports part, I understand. But it's still sports entertainment. We're expecting a fulfilling ending.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't fulfill our needs of, oh, this is it. This is 1, 2, 3. It's done. It's done. No, I'm not gonna feel fulfilled if it's just like, okay, I suplexed him and I got the 3.
Yeah. This was.
I definitely did appreciate. Okay, they were straight up wrestling a Japanese match, like from start to finish. This was a Japanese match, and that's what I really appreciated about it, because if this was a good example of someone, if someone's never seen Japanese wrestling before, I think this would be a good match to show them. This is the shit that they do. It's very hard hitting. They don't. I don't want to say they don't pull back on each other. If they're gonna kick each other in the face, they kick each other in the face.
They do.
The elbows are very stiff. There was a point where Riho had Shida in the corner and was just chopping the hell out of her, and that was a cool spot there. A lot of drivers, a lot of knees, a lot of elbows, a lot of kicks, a lot of very stiff Japanese strong style stuff.
Oh yeah,
I agree. I think tonight was a good example, like you said, of Japanese wrestling, where the American style has really come to and like appreciate the storytelling part. Like you see the arc. You know, you can kind of see what's gonna come next in the story. Whereas in Japanese strong style, it's literally, I'ma hit you. You're gonna hit me. It's gonna hurt. It's gonna suck. They're not gonna know what's coming next because I'm just gonna literally hit you. Okay?
Yeah.
Cool.
You know, just a good example is some of the stuff I was watching from Wrestle Kingdom, and especially Jeff Cobb's match that I stayed up to watch, is that it was basically elbow, 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 chop, 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 suplex, suplex. They go to the outside. Hey, Jeff, you're going to take a fucking suplex on the floor and it's going to hurt like a motherfucker. Now get back in the ring. Elbow, suplex. It was just a lot of this shit's going to hurt.
Oh, yeah.
And that's why I feel like a lot of what this match was. This shit's going to hurt.
Everything in this match looked like it hurt. Hikaru Shida does an eye poke at one point, which looks like hinting at a heel turn maybe for her. But, I mean, I don't know if it was just me. She was acting very heelish in this match. But
in this match, I feel like because it was face versus face. So I feel like if anyone was going to be the heel, it was going to be Shida.
Yeah. And I do think also that I'll agree with Tomas on one front. I do think that this was Hikaru Shida's best match in a while. But I bought hook, line, and sinker that Riho was putting her over here. Because they were selling the story that, Shida's never beaten her. And, she couldn't beat her in 100 years or so. And she doesn't, because Hikaru Shida's like their female Superman. But, I mean, somewhat predictable. I liked the match. I can't go higher than 3.25, though, Tomas.
For sure. I definitely understand that. This was my match of the night. This is going to be very, very, very high. But I'm going to give it 4.5 just because I enjoyed it a lot. When it came to that front, I know.
Tomas
and I feel like the more we're talking about it,
this evening.
I was very generous. Hey, if it makes you feel better, then nothing else on the show is getting higher than that. As we all take a sip of our waters.
Yeah, Kris, what you got? What you got for this?
This?
Oh no, for the match. For the match. I mean, you're drinking. We're all drinking here.
I'll give it a 3.5. I'd give it higher if it wasn't for the ending was very slow to me.
Yeah.
Speaking of the ending, all of a sudden Nyla Rose.
I groaned.
Okay.
I groaned.
That
and
was
I was
like most
someone gonna come out
way.
And then Maki Itoh and Britt Baker. No, not Britt Baker, just Maki Itoh. Britt Baker was there too. They come out, and I'm just like, why? Is someone going to come out and save them? Oh, there's Thunder Rosa. Why are you doing this now? You could have just did this on Dynamite.
I am so sick of Shida versus Rose. Like, I'm over it.
Gee, I wonder what we're going to get on Dynamite. Maybe a 6-woman tag team match?
That's exactly what we're getting.
No,
6-man tag team match, playa. It's
no
gonna be
way
the
they're going to
team.
do Shida and Rosa and Mizunami versus Nyla and Baker and Itoh. No, there's no way that's going to happen. That's
And
never happened before.
It totally is. It totally
So,
is.
I'm glad you mentioned the run-in by Nyla, because after Nyla ran in and started hitting both competitors, Shida hit Nyla like with her forearm once, and then they just sat there and waited for Britt and
Maki Itoh.
Maki Itoh, the idol. I only remember her from the idol.
The idol.
Before they entered, and I'm like, that's where I feel like that's what I mean by it was slow. They just sat there and waited. Nyla, as the heel, should have tried to continue fighting. The faces should have continued like
selling.
Shida should have like continued trying to fight her off, but they just sat there. They were all just sitting and waiting.
For
and that's
something.
like a good example of like what I felt like they were slow at. They were just sitting there, and there were a lot of moments throughout the night like that where the younger, less experienced TV guys and gals were just sitting there waiting for moments, or they rushed through them.
Right.
Like with the indies, it can be a little bit more fast paced, but with TV, there's only one camera that's gonna be on you. Like there's a bunch of cameras all over the place, but there's only one camera on screen. So you gotta wait for your moment to make your spot. And I feel like what AEW hasn't quite figured out, especially with the younger indie guys, is the spots. Sure, there's a bunch of spots, but like they'll run spot over spot. And this is kind of going back to the tag team rumble. I had a lot of issues with the tag team rumble because there were so many spots that were overlooked because they just didn't time it right. There was a spot with Luchasaurus, the Butcher, and both of the Bears.
Those big dudes, yeah.
The Country Bears.
Never seen them.
The four big guys of the match.
Well, that's because you don't watch Dark, Zack.
And we totally missed that spot because someone else, like another team, was entering. And like that's what I feel like AEW really lacked tonight, was their knowledge of TV spots. They gotta either slow it down, or they gotta time it better. They gotta time their spots better. Like, okay, they're coming out, so I should wait to do this. Or I got this time until this happens, so now I have this much time to do what I want. They gotta understand there's only one screen to do their stuff. That's my main gripe overall for this evening.
For sure, yeah. Better yet, TV polish could have been better, but
absolutely, yeah.
So
I feel like, real quick, just because it's on my mind, I feel like that's been brought up a lot within the community. But I've noticed fans are very, 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 very quick to defend AEW, and they're not willing to take criticisms that people are getting of AEW, because things like that will happen, and people are just like, oh, well, they're a new wrestling company. You can't get on their case about that. They're going to get it. I'm like, well, they've been around for like 3 years now. And if there's certain things that they're still not getting the hang of, how much longer until you can just say, oh, they're a rookie company, they'll get their shit together? And if it's still an ongoing issue, that you just say, they're just not good at that. Yeah. It's okay for you to say AEW is not good at that. There's things that WWE has been around for like 50 plus years, and there's still shit that they do that bugs the fuck out of me. Like
they fuck things up similar to WCW still, but it's but anyway. Not to go off on too long a tangents, of course, but
yeah, for sure. What I'm trying to say is it's okay to criticize AEW.
Yeah.
I feel like there's fans that think that AEW is untouchable and they're perfect in every single way. They're not. It's okay to say they suck at things.
Again, none of us in this room hate AEW by any stretch of the imagination.
No. Anyone feel better? I'm pretty sure I'm gonna talk major shit on Fastlane when it happens.
Yeah, prepare for that, my friends. But hey, my friends, the tag team hits just keep on coming because we got Miro and Kip Sabian versus Chucky T and Orange Cassidy, or so we think, because there is a massive run-in backstage, and Chucky T is thrown through a plate glass window, and he is in a bad way.
The best part of the match was before the match started, in my opinion.
Oh no! Oh no!
I think they had a pretty fun match, all things considered. As much as an overbooked mess it kind of was, there was one person in particular that carried the match, and his name is Miro, and I'm sick of him being in this role that he's in right now. I don't want him to be the heavy. I want him to be a fucking monster on his own.
I agree. And there was a little nod to that, though, tonight. So the match. Before the match happened, there was a lot of chaos backstage. There was a brawl. People went through glass. People got hurt. People were busted open. The match started in the ring, and it was a decent match. But near the tail end of the match, Miro bashed into Chuck Taylor, who bashed into
probably Orange. Orange Cassidy.
Penelope, whatever.
Penelope Ford.
Oh, Penelope.
Penelope Ford. So, one can possibly consider Kip Sabian looking into that, and maybe Miro and Kip Sabian splitting off in the future because Miro, accidentally hurt his wife.
But Miro,
which I sure hope, because tonight. Miro's a freaking monster. They need to strap a rocket to him. And, we said, AEW has enough tag teams. They don't need Sabian and Miro kind of just hanging out. Like, nothing against Sabian. He's a good wrestler, but I just feel like they put Miro with him just to introduce him, and then he's all of a sudden a best man for this wedding, which was like, why should I care? We never see Sabian on TV anyway. Mm-hmm. So it was just a very weird way to introduce him. And now that the wedding's over, it's kind of like, okay, why does Sabian need a best man now?
You could probably still catch him on Dark, even though none of us probably watch it religiously. But
apparently AEW expects you to watch it religiously.
Miro drags Chucky T to the ring during his entrance, and Chucky says, "Ring the damn bell." So Miro responds by beating the ever-loving fuck out of Chuck Taylor. And
the beginning of this match was weird because it was kind of like oh no, Chuck Taylor's on his own. What's going to happen? Look at the entrance ramp. Yeah, if only anyone would come down and save Chuck Taylor.
Like he has a partner. Like it was advertised he had a partner.
Orange Cassidy's been taken out. Who's going to come save Taylor? Like really? Like nothing? Yeah. Nothing AEW? Like you just looked at that and said, no, we're just gonna do this.
Orange Cassidy runs down to the ring eventually, and gentlemen, I am so happy with this match because I got the Orange Cassidy and Miro exchange that I've been wanting for a long time, and it was freaking awesome. Orange Cassidy puts his hands in his pockets, hits him with the most lethal kicks in all of wrestling. Miro does not sell a damn thing, and I loved every minute of it.
Goddamn unprofessional he is. What a goddamn unprofessional Miro is. How dare he go into business for himself like that?
I loved every second of it. But so Chucky T almost pins Miro at some point with I don't know if he hit I don't know what he hit on him. I don't remember. I didn't write that down. But eventually it does come down to Miro making Chucky T tap to the Accolade because I refuse to call it anything else. It is the Accolade because it's a cool move.
Game over is cool.
Game over is cool, yeah, but like I mean, Miro has a Twitch channel now, but like it's the Accolade. Like,
I can understand that because I hate how they try to put Miro's gimmick is he likes video games, and I'm just like, okay. Xavier Woods likes video games too, and he does a better job with it.
Adam Cole likes video games. That's not his gimmick.
Cesaro likes video games.
Yeah, his gimmick is not making terrible puns. Tyler Breeze's gimmick is at video games. But
yeah, you get the point, basically.
Yeah, honestly, gentlemen, for a match that had an angle beforehand, I had a lot of fun with this match. I gave it 3 stars. I may have been very generous.
I feel like this was the cool down match that we needed, considering we were going to get a lot of insanity in the next few matches or so.
Yeah.
It was what it was, and I feel like we need to see Orange Cassidy versus Miro 1-on-1 like right now, and until Trent gets back, like they need to figure out something else for Miro to do.
Yes.
Because when he comes back, the best friends will continue doing their thing, and again, AEW doesn't need another tag team.
Yeah, for sure. Kris, was I too generous with them with that rating?
3 stars. I give it a 3 as well. It was a very good mid-card card filler kind of tag. The story was good. It's been going on for a few weeks now. It was good talent, well told. I liked the bit in the beginning before the match even started. I liked the potential foreshadowing of the Miro Kip Sabian split. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of have a prediction / wishful thinking. I want to see. Oh wait, I don't know if I can say this. It's kind of
go ahead. I'm
giving
curious.
away endings for other matches.
I'm curious.
Go for it.
I want to see. Oh God, Sting Jr., Darby Allin. I want to see
Sting Jr.
I want Darby Allin to drop the title to the person that won the ladder match tonight, so the person that won the ladder match and Miro could have a feud for the TNT title.
That's considering that the winner of the ladder match isn't a heel, because he was being pretty dickish on Dynamite this past week. And I hope that was just an experiment, because I don't want to see this person be a heel. Kind of doesn't make any sense.
No.
They're same though.
All right. So moving right along on this funny little Revolution show. I hope y'all are still with us. This is the point where we do get the MJF foreshadowing kicking Jericho out of the inner circle on Wednesday. Oh boy, I'm ready to talk about this one. Matt Hardy versus Hangman Page in what they dub a big money match, where the winner receives the loser's entire first quarter earnings for the year 2021. This is silly.
Getting to this match,
I give it a 2.
Getting to this match
right away
was a fucking nightmare, because remember what I said about AEW being extremely inconsistent with their booking? So here we have Hangman Adam Page, who is very popular with the crowd, even though his gimmick shouldn't be.
He really should not.
Alcoholism is fun.
Cowboy shit is fun, kids. You can see on his nameplate that he decided on the Snapper 56 ounce tonight.
Yeah, kids. Alcoholism is fun, and hanging people and guns. Yeah,
cowboy shit.
And so when Hangman Adam Page broke off from the Elite, the Dark Order tried to recruit him, and Hangman said, "No, thanks. I want to be on my own. I'm a loner." They're like, "Okay, cool." So what do they do the very next week? They run an angle where Matt Hardy tries to recruit him. And I'm just like, did you not hear this motherfucker literally last week say, "I don't want any more friends," or "I don't want any friends"? So why are they continuously trying to put Hangman Adam Page in a faction? And when they finally got to the point with Matt Hardy, the Dark Order is still insisting on helping Page, and Page is liking it now. So getting to this match was a fucking nightmare. The match, however, was not. I thought this match was very good.
I thought
this match was better than it had any right being. And this is the best I've seen Matt Hardy wrestle
in a long time.
I want to say since his broken days in WWE. Hell, maybe even his broken days in Impact.
It's been a while since we've had a good Matt Hardy match to talk about, and I'm sorry to ruffle your feathers on this one, Kris, but I mean the selling in this match was great. I mean Hangman Page hit a discus elbow onto the ring post, and he was selling his whole arm, and then Matt decided to work on his hand. Just great selling throughout. Nice reversal out of the side effect. Matt hit a twist of fate on the floor. He tried to get a count-out win because Big Money Matt is a big giant prick. But
yeah, I don't know if any of you guys ever watched these matches, but this reminded me of one of Matt Hardy's matches he had in Ring of Honor, like back in 2004, 2005, before he came back to the WWE.
Wow.
He wrestled a few Ring of Honor matches, and he was wrestling that kind of style tonight. And he was making Adam Page look very good, which I think that's should be Matt Hardy's mindset going in, considering his age and his tenure with the company, is he needs to start making people look good. And he made Adam Page look excellent in this match. And speaking of Ring of Honor moves, he busted out one of his Ring of Honor moves in this match. He did like that cross bomb, like that Razor's Edge.
I love that.
Tony Schiavone, shut the fuck up. It's not called the BTE bomb. It's called Splash Mountain. I heard him call it the BTE bomb, and I'm like, what the fuck? Since when? That shit is called Splash Mountain.
BTE bomb. Give me a break. But
get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. Adam Page starts to make a comeback. Matt hits the Razor's Edge bomb, to your point. Some more fucking run-ins. So Page hits the Deadeye, and then Private Party, who are suddenly heels now, along with Big Money Matt, provide the distraction.
They've been slowly turning heel the past months, ever since they paired him up with him. And I'm just like, sure, why not?
They should never have turned heel. They are a very good face team.
They are. They are. But for the sake of this alliance that they have with Matt Hardy, I'm just like, sure, if you want to turn heel. Good thing there's not 100% capacity fans right now, because you could tell when there was, they had fun with Private Party.
But finish comes around. Adam Page hits the buckshot lariat with his bad arm, which makes no sense as to why he got the 3 count. Weird psychology there.
Not only Private Party ran in, Dark Order ran in too, and
they did. I forgot about that
earlier.
I forgot about that.
You guys in a battle royal earlier. Shouldn't you be selling that? And then Page wins, which was pretty cool, and then they all have a little cuddle puddle after the match, and I'm just like, okay, cool. Page is in a faction that he really doesn't need to be in.
No.
He should be feuding with Kenny Omega. But no, AEW would... Who did Hangman Page piss off backstage? Because I just feel like they're doing random shit with him right now.
I really don't know, man. But, I mean, I thought the match was kind of slow in parts, and I somewhat overbooked. If I'm being generous saying that, somewhat overbooked.
It also went a bit long.
Yeah.
14 minutes and 40 seconds.
Good Lord, man.
I give it 3.5, though. I had fun with them. I had a lot of fun with this match.
3.5. Chris, you gave it a 2?
I'm going to give it a 2. I'm going to give Tomas a 4 for timing all these matches, though.
No. I'm flattered, but I have the Wikipedia page right in front of me, so...
Okay.
I'm flattered, but I can't take credit.
No, I'm going to give it a 2. I'm going to be honest. Hangman Adam Page is the Roman Reigns to me of AEW.
Oh no!
We know that is not a compliment.
I could care the hell less about Adam Page. I do not like him. He is not a good performer. He's not a good on the mic. I don't like him. He's not worth the hype that they're trying to build him with.
Chris.
And and part of the reason for that is he's one of those guys that the fans just love so much that AEW can't ignore him.
Right.
I remember when they split him off from Kenny Omega, it wasn't supposed to be Omega heel and Hangman Adam Page face. It was supposed to be the other way around, but the fans wouldn't fucking stop cheering for Hangman, so they had to keep him a babyface.
Right.
Okay, here's the thing though. I haven't liked him since he went for the freaking title. I haven't liked him since the Casino Battle Royal when he won it. I thought that was a dumb mistake on AEW. He should not have won that Royal Rumble.
Man.
Hangman Page is kind of just there. He should be a mid-carder, in my opinion. I don't understand his hype.
Damn.
Pairing him with Hardy, okay, yes, I get it. Hardy can teach him a few things. They could have a good storyline. Their match was okay. It was slow at moments. Hardy had a better showing than Hangman did. Hangman pretty much has the same move set as John Cena, which is like the 5 moves of doom for me.
I bet it doesn't help matters that his finisher is a clothesline.
Oh, yes, that he just adds a wonderful little flip over the top rope to add momentum to it. Yes, he's a big heavyweight that flips over the top rope and does a clothesline. You know what?
Boy.
You know what would be better? A JBL style. Run off the ropes. Pick up as much running speed as you can and take that fucker's head off his shoulders. That would be better.
You got a good point, because I feel like that flip he does kind of just stops all of his momentum, and then it just turns into a regular clothesline.
Every comment that's being made about Hangman is just killing me slowly inside. I freaking love that man. But
I do not like Hangman Adam Page. I give it a 2.
Okay. So moving on,
yeah.
I think you guys will agree with me that by this point in the show, I was tired.
And then you get 3 fucking stipulation matches, one after the other.
If this was WWE, this would have been the main event. But we had 3 more matches. One being a ladder match, one being a street fight, and one being an exploding barbed wire death match.
Okay, let's get the ladder match out of the way first. Face of the Revolution with Cody Rhodes and Lance Archer and Max Caster, who was fucking savage before the match. Penta El Zero Miedo, Scorpio Sky.
I fucking hate Lance Archer.
And the debuting Ethan Page also. Ethan Page was great.
I'm very happy Ethan Page signed with AEW.
Why does it matter if Ethan Page is on AEW? AEW and Impact are basically the same thing nowadays.
Easy. No, they're not the same thing. But
I saw Private Party on Impact's last pay-per-view.
Yeah, that's true.
We don't talk about that. Shh, it's okay.
We don't talk about Impact.
Why do you hate Lance Archer, Tomas?
Oh my God! You want to talk about someone who I don't get the hype for? Fucking Archer. I don't care about him. He should not be a babyface. He fucking meddled in my Death Triangle versus Eddie Kingston in the Family Feud, which I do not appreciate. I don't think he's that good of a wrestler. I think he's extremely overrated. During his entrance tonight, he just randomly punched someone for no reason. I don't get him. I don't understand Lance Archer.
And he's a babyface if he punches someone in the crowd?
Yeah. We know that those are wrestlers.
That makes no sense. That makes no sense.
What if we were in a perfect world where there was live audiences and Archer just punched a person in the face for no reason?
Someone who should get all the hype now is freaking Max Caster, because his freaking verses. I was talking with Kris before we started recording.
Oh my God, you're gonna get canceled like Dr. Seuss. I fucking almost spit out my food at that line.
No, the one that got me was I got blood on my hands like Governor Cuomo, and I'm like, I was gonna let you easy. No, but yeah, this was your typical high spots ladder match, I would say.
Real quick, I want to make one more comment about
Go ahead.
About Max Caster. The difference between Max Caster and John Cena is that Max Caster can say whatever the fuck he wants. Yeah. AEW is letting him say whatever he wants. WWE would never in a million years let Cena say that stuff.
How do you like it?
I don't care if it was.
How do you
That's
like
what Zack and I was talking about. I was shocked that they were letting him say that. He got very political on some of his bars.
Oh yeah.
In Florida of all places. So this was, like I was saying, your typical high spots ladder match. These guys were killing each other with death. Scorpio Sky was taking some of the sickest bumps I've ever seen in my life, hitting his head on ladders all over the place. But I will say that this match really annoyed me because Cody Rhodes took a really sick bump on a ladder on the outside, and they took him to the back for a little bit. And Tomas and I were talking a lot during this ladder match. I was like, okay, so Cody's taken to the back until he runs down and grabs the literal brass ring that's hanging above.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I mean, and then I have another friend, and you know, I'm going to shout him out. Shout out to my friend Skylar King that was messaging me throughout this pay-per-view, and he said, that's a fucking Sonic the Hedgehog ring that's hanging above.
Easy.
Oh my gosh.
It literally was.
Okay.
It was in a picture of it. It was like it fucking is a Sonic the Hedgehog ring. Why?
Correct me if I'm wrong with this Cody Rhodes taking a Brock Lesnar break, but ever since SummerSlam, where it was the Fatal 4-Way with Joe, Strowman, Reigns, and Lesnar, where Lesnar got hurt and got escorted out and then came back like near the end of the match. Brock Lesnar breaks have been happening a lot in wrestling, where these like top guys will get really hurt in the beginning of the match and then come back later on.
Case in point, Randy Orton at the Royal Rumble a month ago.
Cody Rhodes just doesn't want to bump anymore.
Literally, what is with this Brock Lesnar break, y'all?
I don't. It gets
not
tiresome.
Only did the Brock break. Not only did the Brock break annoy me, what fucking bugged me is that Cody wouldn't even bother to go all the way into the back. He was chilling at the top of the entranceway
tunnel
for like fucking 10 minutes.
Tunnel.
Arn Anderson was looking back at the ring constantly, waiting for the cue, and I'm like, I know what's coming. Cody Rhodes is going to fucking run down and grab the brass ring to stick it to Vince, and he's going to get another TNT title shot. Thank God he did not win.
Spoiler alert, but this was a fun match. But like I said, I was tired. Yeah. I was very tired at the point of the show that I was just like, ladder match. That's what it is. It's Spot Fest. It was fine. It was what it was. It was better than the one Brian Cage one. I will say that. It was a lot smoother.
Well, because it wasn't stupid like someone comes out at equally timed intervals like a Royal Rumble and someone can just win at the beginning.
Two things. One, I appreciate the sarcasticness of this match with the brass freaking ring. Yep. That is a very hilarious tip of the cap to the wrestling world. The ha undertone of, like, you know, grab the brass ring, ha ha, but also
is the risk worth the reward?
Two,
God, climb the corporate ladder.
I understand AEW trying to be
You'll
different.
never see it coming.
I understand them trying to be different, but don't be different with like every match trying to be the Royal Rumble with like different time intervals. Like, you don't need it. Like, literally, you don't.
Too many gimmicks. Too many gimmicks.
Too many gimmicks in the kitchen for sure. But
yeah, you know who else had too many gimmicks? WCW. Don't do that.
No, don't do that.
Or we're gonna see a Jacksonville Jaguars match.
Oh God! It comes down to Cody Rhodes climbing the ladder, of course, and Penta and Scorpio Sky are hitting him in the shoulder with chairs, like Edge hit Chris Benoit with chairs at WrestleMania 21. Cody is thrown off the ladder by the one and only Scorpio Sky, and he grabs the brass ring. Thank God.
That was fantastic. God. I'm so happy they're finally doing something with Scorpio Sky. And I thought it was very symbolic how he kind of grabbed Cody's face and he said something to him, kind of like, you're not going to hold us down anymore, and shoved him off the ladder. Kind of like a Lion King moment, kind of like a Long Live the King. Just shoved Cody Rhodes off that ladder. And I'm glad. I see Scorpio Sky winning the title? Sure, why not?
Yes.
I don't, especially what Darby Allin's doing right now. I don't see them doing anything with Darby Allin and the title. I do see them doing a lot with Darby Allin, but not with the TNT title. No. Because it's obvious AEW has other things in mind for him.
Yeah, which, we'll get to. But as late as it was in the show, I gave this match a 4. I thought there were a lot of really fun, creative spots. I think it was fun to watch. I definitely want to watch it again when I'm not as tired. But good for Scorpio Sky. I'm glad they went with somebody different.
I give it 3 3/4. It was a fun match, but like I said, I was tired, not really too much paying attention to it. The Cody Rhodes stuff bothered me, but like I said, this was not like the one Brian Cage was in. This was a lot smoother. I liked the people in this one a lot better. I was cheering for Max Caster, but I'm glad Scorpio Sky. He's way overdue. Like he's not even SoCal Uncensored anymore, which is great.
Split off. I agree.
No wonder WWE did not mention Christian's return at the Royal Rumble at all after it happened, because it was at this point
Christian
where
Cage signed with AEW.
Yeah, with literally his same exact theme that he had in TNA, which I don't mind. I actually really like it, and I am very glad that Christian is cleared.
The very fucking minute that 9 hit, I was like, it's Christian.
It is. Yeah, I was.
Yeah.
I give it a 2.
Anyone who
you give Christian
watched
a 2?
TNA in 2006, they knew it was him. Like, they could not have made that more obvious. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'm going to go on a little rant. Obviously, there's a little case of butt hurtness going on in WWE right now, where if WWE doesn't give in to any single little demand that these legends get, they're just going to go and jump ship to AEW. So I understand Big Show, and I understand where he's coming from, but this is 2021, and of course, Big Show's not going to be on top anymore. So the fact that he's jumping ship to AEW, he's wearing a shirt that says "No More BS," kind of comes off a little immature.
Comes off a little petty.
And I'm kind of noticing the same thing from Christian, because from what I've read, the same thing happened with him. He was unhappy, and he didn't want to re-sign with WWE, and now all of a sudden he's here in AEW.
I don't understand.
He's been with WWE for the past 15 years, I think. Like now, all of a sudden he wants to go be bitter and do what he did in 2006. Like I don't know. I'm noticing some immaturity amongst the legends right now.
Go ahead, Kris.
May I?
Of course.
Gentlemen, let me shed some light on the subject. Okay, so a couple things to think about here. One, these guys have put their heart and soul into this company for years. Mm-hmm. And now this company is like, listen, we like you, but also we're going to stiff you. Because you're old and can't keep up with this vigorous body taxing career we want you to do. Whereas AEW is like, yeah, no, you can wrestle less often, less taxing. Sure, WWE is probably the highest paycheck they can get in the wrestling world across the board. Anybody in this industry knows if you want to make the biggest paycheck, go to WWE.
Right.
But think about it this way. These are the guys who've done this for years. They have the knowledge. They have the experience. They've seen those paychecks. Now they have an opportunity to train and discuss and work with the next generation. Sure, it's a pay decrease, but it's still a job. Whereas WWE would be like, yeah, we'll offer you a Legends contract. You know, you show up once in a while. We'll pay you $200. Cool. Thanks for your appearance. No, in AEW, you can work with our rookies. You can discuss your experiences. You can discuss your knowledge. You can get in a ring and train with these guys.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a Legends contract. It's a contract.
Yeah,
understandable.
That's a great point, man. And like
that is a fantastic point as well. And thank you for shedding light on that. I think my biggest issue is the no more BS shirt really bothered me. It kind of was just like
marketing, bro. That's marketing.
Yeah, it kind of just took me as a. I mean, even Kurt Angle went online to say like, he even like I think he called Big Show a little petty. He called him a little. He said that this is a company that's taken care of you for years and years and years, and you're just gonna like kind of slander them. I don't know. I mean, if I'm coming off as a WWE fanboy, I apologize. It's just like it feels like TNA all over again.
You got to remember, Big Show. If you really want to go down to it, Big Show's not a WWE guy. He started
WCW.
in WCW and went to WWE just like a couple other of the WCW guys when they knew the ship was sinking.
Like Chris Jericho.
Good point.
You got to remember, there are WWE guys that went to WCW and then went back. It's not this like, yes, I bleed WWE. No, I bleed wrestling. Mm-hmm. You let me do what I do. I don't care what company is on my name tag. I want to do what I do.
Right.
I love this business. I love this art style. You let me do what I do, I will work for you.
And Christian Cage for sure loves this business. I would love. I don't think it's going to happen, but I would love to see him hold the AEW World Title just to give him a little bit more vindication. But like,
now I don't know. Why did you give Christian Cage's debut a 2?
Okay.
Was it underwhelming? Because for me, it kind of was. The minute I heard that Christian didn't come to terms with WWE for a new contract, the gears started spinning. I was like, okay, Big Show just jumped ship. It probably is Christian.
I gave it a 2 because I was underwhelmed. I'm not going to hate on the guy. He's a good worker. But one, he's old. No offense, he's old in wrestling terms. Once you pass the age of 40, you are old in any kind of sport.
So is Chris Jericho then?
Yes.
So is the guy who's main eventing WrestleMania this year then?
Oh no. Oh no.
Hey, I love Edge, and I'm so happy that he's main eventing Mania.
What I don't know, when they were like, yes, Hall of Fame caliber, new contract, new signee, I was expecting someone who would be there for a tenure, not already's got the tenure.
Yeah, like me and Zack for a hot second were speculating Brock Lesnar. That's how serious we were.
We were speculating. Yeah. I was speculating a lot. I was speculating Kurt Angle, which wouldn't really make sense. I was speculating CM Punk, which was kind of a long shot, but
yeah. So you saw where our standards were. So definitely Christian Cage, he's cool, but not who we were.
I love Christian. I'm a big fan of his. So
me too.
I'm excited to see what he does.
And now here's another thing, Zach. I will gladly call him Christian Cage because I thought that name was cool in TNA.
Me too. I like Christian Cage.
I hope he turns heel within the month.
Captain Charisma.
And those tantrums?
Classic, yes. Throw temper tantrums, please. But
please.
Hey, speaking of wrestlers that I wasn't expecting AEW to sign, and yet he's wrestling a match anyway, Sting and Darby Allin versus Team Tazz in a cinematic street fight.
Which
I'm so happy it was cinematic.
Was not expecting it to be a cinematic match.
Freaking out at first because the minute they said, okay, we're going to an undisclosed area, I was like, the car, I was like, what? And then I saw Brian Cage and I was like, what? Did I miss the memo? they were just. I mean, I was happy too because I feel like we've gotten a good enough break from cinematic matches, and to come back to it for this one, I was like, the first thing I said out loud to myself was, "So this is how you protect Sting." Yep. I don't think, at least for now, we're not going to see Sting in a legit wrestling match. Not right now. I don't think he's quite ready, but this is how you protect Sting.
You gotta remember though, Sting is also 61 years old, and this is his first technical wrestling match back after breaking his neck 6 years ago against Seth Rollins. So, and the announcers, like, I really hate this, by the way. The announcers were downplaying the fact that Sting is back after almost 6 years when he was told he could never wrestle again.
Yeah, and you don't have to say, oh, the last time Sting wrestled was at WWE Night of Champions. And of course, they can't say that, but they can just say it's been 6 years since Sting wrestled. They wouldn't even say that. And it was just like, they're really downplaying this.
They really
are. Kind of a big deal. Like, because after Night of Champions, I never thought I'd see Sting wrestle again. And here he is, wrestling again.
And Sting looked really good for what it was worth. I thought the match was extremely entertaining. I really don't know how I can rate a cinematic match, honestly. So, I mean, just talking about some of the bigger spots, Darby Allin this poor guy got freaking killed. He was thrown through plate glass windows. He's jumping from freaking high ledges on Brian Cage through this big platform. What's up, Kris?
I hate to do this. Timeout. I don't know if you got to work your cinematic magic, but like, I got to use the restroom.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Go ahead. Go ahead. You're good. You're good.
I was gonna say, are we going to have a cinematic match?
Kris is going to have a quick little restroom break while we talk about this. So,
are we pausing or we keep going?
No, we'll just keep going.
For sure, yeah. Like you said, at one point, Darby Allin jumps off like a 2-story ledge and he lands onto Brian Cage and like I feel like it was a piece of just plywood, and he went right through that thing. And I was like, does this kid care about his health at all?
He really has no regard for his own well-being. One of my favorite spots in the match was freaking Brian Cage lifting up Darby Allin in a stairwell for a vertical suplex, and he walks up a whole flight of stairs with Darby Allin in the suplex position.
That's fucking bonkers that he has the strength to do that. Even though I'm pretty sure,
I'm convinced Brian Cage is not human, Tomas.
He's not. No, they call him the Swolverine for a reason. And
Swolverine. I saw his shirt. I was like, that is the most ridiculous nickname I've ever seen in my life, but it fits.
Main nickname in Impact, and that's fucking insane.
Oh my god, was it really?
I mean, even though Darby Allin's like 150 pounds soaking wet, the fact that he could carry him like that up a flight of stairs.
He's not 150. Darby Allin can't be 150 pounds.
I mean, I'm gonna look this up just to confirm, but I know he's not. He just looks tiny.
It wouldn't surprise me, but like, there's no way.
Oh, I'm sorry. He's 170.
Yeah, big wolf, 20-pound difference. But
yeah.
I can't believe Kris called him Sting Jr. That really threw me off there. Sting Jr.
You're wrong.
Oh, and that's another thing. Sting and Darby Allin's face paint were exact like mirror images of one another.
It was
a direct
really
match.
Cool. I definitely want to go back and rewatch that match because
I do too.
Like I said, when I watch matches like those, I need to pay 100% attention to it, and I need to like absorb the environment. And I'm sorry, that was very difficult to do when you have commentary. I do think
yeah,
I understand that Tazz needed to be there because these were his boys, but I feel like for this you need to cut out the commentary and overlap with some very dramatic music, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
again,
overlap.
Look at all the examples you can look at. Final Deletion, Tag Team Apocalypto, Ultimate Deletion, the undisclosed the street fight that Moose and EC3 had, the One Final Beat, the Firefly Funhouse match,
the Boneyard match.
These all did it right. And I can't believe I'm saying that Impact does these cinematic matches better than AEW. But I will say, this was a million times better than All Elite Deletion. It was produced better. It was edited better. It just had a better feel to it.
It had
it was a decent surprise.
It had like a Fincher thriller feel to it almost, like, which sounds like a high compliment, but like that's kind of the mood I was getting.
Yeah, but I really like this match that it was what it was supposed to be, and they really protected Sting. Like the minute this match started, it all made sense to me.
It really did, yeah, and like. Yeah, Darby Allin, on the other hand, did not protect himself, but Sting definitely did a lot of really manageable like spots in this match, and Kris is cringing as soon as I say the name Darby Allin.
So no, I fully agree. No, when the match started and I saw Cage and Stark.
Yeah, right, Ricky Starks.
Stark, when I saw them in the car and when I kind of caught on that it was going to be a cinematic match, I was like, okay, I accept this. This is how they protect Sting. And I sense that you guys have already discussed this, but I accept this because this is a good way to protect Sting, who hasn't been in a ring in
almost 6 years.
Yes, sure. He probably trained before the match. Obviously, he took bumps, but a match is a lot different than training.
Oh yeah,
right.
And go back to Dynamite a couple weeks ago when Sting took that power bomb from Brian Cage. The look on his face just screamed, "I shouldn't have come back."
No, so
I don't think he can take too many more power bombs.
That was either exceptional selling, or he did not take a bump that large until that night.
Yeah. And I don't know how many more power bombs Sting can take. So they really got to protect this match.
Well, again, he is 61 years old, but like from the looks of it, he looked pretty good. I mean, he was, hitting his usual spots. He was hitting stinger splashes in that like really crappy ring that they had. They started off, and it's funny because I love how they were fighting all over this warehouse, and like, Powerhouse Hobbs and Hawk were making the run in, but the match ended in the ring.
Yeah. Another fantastic AEW booking of the match is just going to end. Of all the crazy stuff that was happening in that match, to have it end with the death drop was kind of underwhelming.
Yeah, Sting hit Ricky Starks with a death drop in the middle of the ring, and he pins him. Pretty simple. Sting and Darby Allin go over after Darby kills himself by jumping off the ledge.
It was fun. It was very fun to watch, and it was a pleasant surprise. And AEW, you're getting there with the cinematic matches. Just cut out the commentary next time.
Yeah, I don't need it.
If there was weird.
Yeah, the commentary was very strange, but as far as like production value and execution goes, 2 thumbs up from me.
I can give it a 3.5, honestly, just because I enjoyed. I enjoyed this match. This was a pleasant surprise.
Yeah, for sure.
Go
ahead, Kris.
I'll give it a 3.5. I liked it for what it was. I appreciate that they went cinematic to save. Not save, but to give Sting a chance to take a few bumps, to showcase the talent. I'm not gonna lie, these stipulation matches that are turning into cinematic matches, at first, with the introduction of them with Broken Matt Hardy, I'm not gonna lie, I thought they were weird, like some of the other wrestling fans.
Oh yeah, it wasn't widely accepted at first because it was out of the ordinary. Like we were watching Matt and Jeff Hardy fight in their backyard with
but it's
fireworks.
Different.
Yeah, it's like we weren't used to it.
But I've grown to appreciate the idea behind it. This is how legends should come back. They can spotlight their fan favorite moves. They can get some screen time. Fans can enjoy them. I would love to see boogeyman return in a cinematic match.
Oh, jeez.
Yes.
Oh, good
You
Lord.
know what? Here's a hot take, and I hope this isn't going to too long of a tangent. I'm not mad that the Undertaker's last match was cinematic. I think it fit him very well.
No,
it
was a very excellent way to go out. And AJ Styles was a very, very good
final
opponent for him for that.
Oh yeah, that match was a blessing in disguise.
Yeah, Boneyard. But this street fight was nowhere near as good as the Boneyard match, or as fun or as entertaining.
No, but for AEW's first cinematic match, it wasn't bad. And you have to think Matt Hardy had some say in what happened.
Oh, for sure. I mean, if there was one match on this show that I would show my girlfriend, it would probably be this one. Because I showed her Stadium Stampede from last year, and she really got a kick out of it.
I showed mine too.
Yeah,
I still need to show my girlfriend All Elite Deletion just because I showed her the broken stuff back in the past, and she's like hooked on it now.
But man, oh man, I tell you what, Tomas, I will definitely not be showing her tonight's main event, which is Kenny Omega defending the AEW World Heavyweight title against Jon Moxley in an exploding barbed wire death match. So let me ask you gentlemen a question real quick. Let me just get this out of the way. Does Jon Moxley have a death wish?
Apparently.
Seriously.
So if you're like me, you're probably wondering, what the actual fuck is an exploding barbed wire death match? Now let me explain this to you because it's very simple.
Yeah.
So
sparklers and firecrackers.
Out of the 4 sets of ropes in the ring, 3 of them are wrapped in barbed wire and have explosives on them, as AEW would call them. There's also landmines around the ring. Last time I checked, you can't blow someone's fucking head off in a wrestling match. So I'm looking at this thinking, how the absolute fuck are they going to pull this off? So this match was very good.
Yeah.
Until the end.
Here's the thing. I don't even think this was their best match. I think I think the barbed wire on the 3 sides of the ring kind of limited them to an extent. They were as opposed to the lights out match from from Full Gear,
a couple years ago.
Yeah. So they could do more in that match because they didn't have this, this gimmick on the ropes. So they could bounce off the ropes in the lights out match. They could, put mouse traps in the ring. I think
that being said, I understand. I think they told a very good story considering it's Omega and Moxley, and they have an appreciation for not only Japanese wrestling, but for deathmatch wrestling. They were able to tell a very good story, and they were able to put drama into this match because suspension of disbelief is very important when you're watching wrestling. So looking at the explosions from that aspect, and I'm not talking about the ones at the end of the match, I'm talking about the ones during the match, it did add some suspense because it was still a loud boom. And you were supposed to made to think that an explosion actually hit these guys, and they were selling it very well. It was very bloody. It was very suspenseful. The story was very good. And then the ending happened. And the Good Brothers interfered.
Again,
and that was so fucking unnecessary.
A fucking run-in.
When they interfered, I was like, okay, Moxley took them out. Great. And then they helped Omega win the match. And I was just like, this match is too personal to end on fucking interference.
Right.
And the other gimmick of this match was there's a 30-minute timer in this match. And if it goes to that 30 minutes, the ring's going to fucking explode. And you're sitting there thinking, again, they can't do that. So what the fuck are they going to do? So when the match ended, they said, oh, the timer's still going. I'm like, no. The match is over. You should have cut that shit. You have a referee in there in a full fucking hazmat suit who's not doing his job.
Heart. Bless Rice Rensburg's heart.
Fucking job.
Oh,
and this match is over, and they're just saying, oh, well, sorry, if Moxley's in the ring, he's going to fucking die.
Yeah.
So this was a very good match that got fucking ruined at the end.
And poor Eddie Kingston runs out to help him, and he has to cover him up, and it just ends up being sparklers on the ring posts. And like that was the explosion.
It was if you've ever gone to Disneyland and watched Fantasmic, it's just that little ending with the dun dun poof.
Yeah, like, just a little
I thought it was a
poof.
I thought it was a joke. I thought it was them saying, haha, just kidding, there's no explosion. I understand that you can't blow someone's fucking head off, but don't do that.
Again, I feel like Moxley, like, he's done a whole bunch of these matches, and like he's got a kid on the way. He's got a pregnant wife at home who's scared for his life. You know, like, I don't know, man. This was a grotesque main event. Blood everywhere. Definitely felt personal. I don't know how to rate this. Because a lot of the time I was just like gripping the chair, wondering what was going to happen.
I'm giving it a 3.5 because it was a very good match with very good storytelling, a lot of drama, a lot of suspense, very bloody for 2021 standards. I feel like we don't see that anymore. A lot, at least, in mainstream wrestling. I'm sure there's some indie promotions out there with people fucking bashing each other over the head with fluorescent light bulbs and stuff like that. But in mainstream wrestling, like WWE, AEW, Impact, NXT, stuff like that, we don't really see anything like that anymore. So to kind of, suspension of disbelief to see how far they were going to go in this match, I thought they did pretty well. Again, the lights out match was better. Hell, I won't go as far as saying that their match on Dynamite was better than this, but
I would.
I would. Okay. But
I would. It was better.
What they did. The ending was stupid, and then they ended the match too soon, so they had to beat up Moxley for 5 minutes straight, and then they left him in there. And then Eddie Kingston comes out, and then apparently they both died. So
yeah.
Well, a very shitty ending to a solid pay-per-view, in my opinion.
What you got, Kris?
So, the wrestler in me gives this a 3.5 because I understand what they were trying to achieve, what they were trying to do in the ring, the story they were trying to tell. The fan in me gives it a 2.5, 2.3 quarters, if I'm being generous. It wasn't terrific. The beginning of the match started with them trying to push each other toward the ropes for the barbed wire and explosions. That went on for what felt like 10 minutes, and I understand why they were doing it. I feel like it went a little too long. The match, however, was a little too short, like Tomas said. I would have liked to see it last to that 30-minute mark. The Good Brothers coming in, okay, yeah, I see it, because we all know the Good Brothers like to beat up John Moxley, sorry.
Oh, God damn it.
Okay, real quick on tangent. They still say that shit on Impact, and it doesn't work anymore.
Beat up John Cena.
They'll say
John Moxley.
For example, they'll say we wanna beat up Chris Sabian, and it's like, guys, it doesn't work. Just stop.
No. It didn't work with John Cena. It doesn't work with anybody else either.
Yeah.
It was just an okay match. I get they were trying to be different with the stipulation. I get they were trying to work. I get they were trying to sell. But I don't think it came across as they thought it would. And I don't think it came across as they wanted. Which is unfortunate. They did their best, but the match is kind of smoke, like, as not to make a pun, but the match is smoke and mirrors.
I guess you could say AEW's plan for a very dramatic main event really blew up in smoke.
Oh, good Lord. I'm not pleased. I'm not pleased with this. But
good.
Yeah.
So,
didn't want you to be.
I don't give it a high grade based off of that. It started good with them trying to stay away from the ropes. I understand that. I forgot what happened, but Moxley got busted open super early in the match, which I think if you're going to get busted open, it should be in either the middle or the ending of the match. But he got busted open super early.
In the opening minutes. Like,
yeah.
I want to say within the first 5 minutes, Mox was cut. And I'm sure Renee might have had a heart attack at home. But,
so don't, ladies and gentlemen of the jury and others, don't get me wrong. Barbed wire sucks.
Yeah.
It sucks. What they tell you on commentary is true. That stuff gets stuck in your skin and does not let go.
Nope.
It hurts. It's like little tiny knives that just won't let go. The barbed wire sucks. The explosions on top of that is what I have an issue with. They're very unnecessary. They are just showmanship on top of the barbed wire.
It kind of came off corny in a lot of ways.
Oh yeah,
very.
Like
especially with
at the end.
Eddie Kingston. Oh no, my friend, I'll protect you. And then
it didn't feel. It didn't feel as brutal as any of the barbed wire massacres that TNA were doing back in the day.
No.
Or like, I'll even say it. I think the Firefly Inferno match was scarier than this. Like,
very good point.
You know, like
if you want to do a barbed wire match, do a barbed wire match. Take the ropes out, make it all barbed wire.
Yeah. And
that's
again, yeah, maybe it would have been a lot worse if if the explosions weren't a factor into it. This is a match that hasn't been done in 25 years, and you know what? I don't think they should ever do this match ever again.
No.
So I can't remember where or who, I think more importantly, who posted it, but I saw something on social media earlier this week that was like advertising the explosive barbed wire match from 25 years ago. And I'm not going to lie, the match 25 years ago looked a lot better. The explosions were more realistic.
Yeah.
I think tonight's explosions were very much downplayed to the point they looked very
gimmicked.
Yes.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways. So, like it
made you really feel like you were watching a performance.
Again, to make this comparison, it's almost like every time you watch an Inferno match and they do like a big move and then the flames shoot up. You know?
Yeah, it's like someone's hand is on the button. Just like the minute they make contact with those ropes, you're gonna just press it, and there's gonna be a big flash.
Yeah. So yeah, I agree. The match came off kind of corny in hindsight, but I did enjoy it. I'd probably give it a 3.5. It's not my favorite match that they've had by any stretch. The lights out match.
Zach, since you're very curious of what Renee had to say, 2 hours ago she had the tweet, "What the fuck, man."
Yeah.
That's it.
That explains everything, man. So I mean, this was a solid outing from AEW. I didn't like this more than Full Gear from a few months back. I'd probably give it like an 8.5 if I'm being nice.
I can't remember, so I'm gonna give it an 8. I'm sorry if it's not WWE. I can't remember orders of pay-per-views or stuff like that.
Yeah.
Again, that's the WWE fanboy in me, but this was a very good pay-per-view. It was good all the way until the end. And the end just sucked. Plain and simple.
It did. And
I'm not the only one who thought that. I'm reading a lot of people's opinions right now, and they all say the same thing. this was a good pay-per-view. Just the not the main event, just the ending was
corny ending. So John can go on. So Mox can probably go on paternity leave for a little bit. But
yeah, even though Renee's still very much early into her pregnancy, but hell, if he wants to go take, you were the one who told me she's only like 5 months ahead.
I mean, so
I don't know.
Renee and Brandy took a picture. They posted it on Twitter. They're both big. Like, they're both very far along, it looks like.
Yeah, well, Brandy announced in December, right? So she's probably getting.
Yeah.
So if this is Moxley's write-off, then good. Go ahead, have fun.
Yeah, but
you and Rollins can send each other baby pics.
There you go. But gentlemen, always a good time to have you both on the show. I hope you all enjoyed this little game that we played for almost 2 hours. Thank you all for making it this far. If you haven't yet,
AEW, if you wanted to take the pay-per-view down a good 45 minutes, we'd be okay with that. Just letting you know.
Absolutely. But definitely look out for the continued retrospective on the year 2002. Definitely look out for our look at Fastlane later on this month, the first WWE show on Peacock. Which
also
is
they announced their next one, Double or Nothing.
Yeah.
Double or Nothing on my birthday, May 30th, 2021, ladies and gentlemen.
There you go. Awesome little birthday present right there for Kris. But yeah, if you're new here, once again, hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up button on your way out if you'd like to see more wrestling content. It would really help out the channel. You guys are the best. With all that being said, back talk commence.